So, in the somewhat recurring series, we'll call it, what weird thing is Valerie going to connect with gamification today? It's the phrase too many cooks. You might have heard the phrase too many cooks, spoil the broth, or just some people say just too many cooks. Whatever, however it is, it reminded me of something totally different and unrelated earlier this week. I was on a call with a couple of friends and we were talking about different social media things and I said, "Oh man, I used to love being on Tumblr." And I did a lot of stuff on Tumblr. I used it for a lot of creative activities and met a lot of cool people and had a wonderful experience there for a very long time. And one of the experiences I had involved a writing group, and it was called Too Many Cooks. And what does it have to do with gamification? Well, I was sort of, as you're reminiscing, I was thinking about it and I realized that what we did in the writing group was actually a game. And we didn't call it a game. We weren't setting out to play a game. And I don't know that the other people in the group would even agree with me that it was a game. But it reminded me that a lot of people think that in gamification, we're just turning everything into games or that everything's going to look like a game. And nothing could be further from the truth. A lot of the things that I have helped people with over the years look nothing like games. They are inspired by them. They may have some game elements. They may just just be better. They may have just improved. What we may have done is take a good design, level it up, augment it, and just make it a little bit better. So, in that spirit, again, I'm thinking about how we did the writing group and the nature of what makes something a game. Because again, I thought of it as a writing project. And what we did was there were five of us who agreed to work on this together for a period of 6 weeks. So there were different people that participated in different cohorts, you could call it. So for 6 weeks, we were writing stories. So what we did was in week one, each of the five of us, wrote we each had a day of the week. And on that day of the week, we committed that we would write the first part of a story. So I would write let's say I was Monday, I would write the first piece of my story and I would post it to the shared Tumblr blog on Monday. And then the next person on Tuesday, Wednesday, so forth. So we had the first chapter, first piece of each story by the end of the first week. Then we all rotated a spot in the rotation. So instead of continuing my story the following Monday, I would be writing the story that started on Tuesday and the person who started the Tuesday story on Wednesday and so forth. So we were picking up the story where the person before us left off. And which was a really challenging thing. And then we had a couple of rules. So, and this is where it started. I started to realize the other day that it really was a game. Because while different people have different definitions of game or gamification or any of those things, most people agree that for something to be a game, you have to have a player. Games don't play themselves. And so there were five of us playing. We'll say there were five players in the game. Um, Games, if you follow the definition put forward by Bernard Suits years ago, it had unnecessary obstacles. Well, trying to write a story that somebody else started is an unnecessary obstacle. If I wanted to write a story, I could just write the story. I don't need to complicate it by saying, "Ooh, I'm now going to be writing somebody else's story," which meant I had to kind of look at their characters and the tone of it and try to, match and make it sound cohesive, like it wasn't five different people writing the story. Because then again, at the end of the 6 weeks, we would all have rotated back to the starting positions and we would conclude our own story. So that was kind of the rule. That was one of the rule, and rules are common in games. That's one of the things that make mini games games. So there were rules. There was another rule which was because of an experience in a group before I joined. You were not allowed to kill off the person's main character. So we kind of had that rule that you couldn't like just go in and destroy everything and basically kill the story. You had to give you had to give the next person a chance to continue the story, and you couldn't just like go completely off the rails that way and change it completely and say, yeah, this story is not about this character, it's about something else. You couldn't do that. That was against the rules. Um, and one of the other attributes that are commonly listed when you look at what makes something a game is that it's voluntary. People choose to participate in a game, and obviously, the five of us chose to participate in this experiment, experience, whatever you want to call it. So again, did that look like a game? Would anybody who was reading the stories along with us week after week be thinking, oh, wow, these people are playing a game? No, probably not. Maybe somebody did. I don't know. I didn't ask everybody. Um, but it's just something to think about, that saying that you're going to use games or saying that you're going to use gamification can look all sorts of different ways, and quite often looks in ways that you don't expect and that you don't think about. But it's in the intention and it's in the design of things that they really become a game or gameful. So just a little thought for today. Doesn't There's no one right way to do it. There's a whole lot of different ways to do it. But the bottom line and sort of the common element is, if you do it well, it makes it a lot better. So anyway, until next time, bye.